Hi, my name is Kristen. I'm a writer on Wattpad. My mom is a total Karen. I even write stories about her on my Wattpad. This is until my stories got discovered and all hell broke loose. One day, I was in the cafe and I looked at the cute guy who was walking over to me with my milkshake. As he handed me my drink, he said, Here you go, gorgeous. I could not believe my ears. Did Tyler, my crush since kindergarten, just call me gorgeous? But before he could say another word, a shrill voice echoed in the cafe. Where is your manager? This coffee is too hot! I want to speak to your manager! I sunk back in my chair while the raging Karen unleashed her fury on poor Tyler. I'd seen this too many times. She really was as crazy as I made her in my stories. I told Mom to back off. She turned to me with blazing eyes. No daughter of mine will talk back to me like that because of some loser waiter. Oh no! I looked at Tyler in horror. I thought the worst of that night was watching my crush stare at me like I was a monster. But boy, was I wrong. When I got to school the next day, everyone was looking at me weirdly and some kids were pointing at me. Suddenly, my phone pinged and I nearly dropped it when I saw the message. Someone had recorded Mom that night and the video had gone viral. When I finally saw Susie, my best friend, in the cafeteria, she ran to me and hugged me. Kristen, I'm so sorry. It'll blow over soon. But it didn't. When I got home that afternoon, ready to go off on Mom, she looked furious and pushed a pile of papers into my hand. As I read them, I almost passed out. They were printouts of my stories. I can explain. It's not you, it's... Suddenly, she pulled me into a hug and yelled, We're famous, Kersey! You genius! What do you mean? A famous producer watched the video and saw how people loved to hate me and thought Tyler and you looked cute. Then he found your stories and now they want us to do a reality show based on your stories. I could not believe my ears. I'd be the star of my own stories? And if Tyler agreed to be in it, maybe I'd have another chance with him. I rushed over to the place he was working at. Tyler, we need to talk. But just then, he dropped to his knee. I want to be your boyfriend. I could not believe my ears. Yes, of course, Tyler. I'd like nothing more. He laughed and jumped to his feet and hugged me. This was perfect. This was... Cut! Immediately, Tyler let go of me. Wasn't I just brilliant, babe? What do you mean? A funny little man and a camera crew rushed out yelling, You're a natural! I love that you don't even need the script. Just then, I saw the camera crew and suddenly everything made sense. Clearly, the director had already approached Tyler. Tyler turned to me and grinned. Not that difficult to pretend to be in love with you, beautiful. My heart raced at that. Did he actually like me? The next few weeks were whack. I had a camera crew follow me everywhere. And they chose everything and everyone around me. When we walked into math class, the director looked up and down at the teacher. He just picked up his phone and said, No, this won't do. And seconds later, a super hot guy, introduced as our new teacher, came in and started playing with a calculator. I was so relieved when the class ended and I finally met up with Susie. But when I hugged her, she pushed me away. Is this all your life is about now? The fame and fake people? Gosh, was my best friend jealous of me? But before I could reply, my phone pinged. Tyler had texted. They're ready for the take. I jumped to my feet and grabbed my stuff. We'll talk about this later, okay? To be honest, I was having the time of my life. Not only did I have the best boyfriend ever, but also everyone wanted to be friends with me. The only thing I really wanted was for Susie to be on the show too. But the director refused because he said she wasn't pretty enough. So they had a model replace her. After that, things just went downhill. One day, I was at the cafeteria when Susie plopped next to me. I was thrilled to see her. I miss you, Chris. You never have time for me now. Before I could reply, the model who was playing my best friend got up and splashed cold water all over Susie. Oops, sorry. Chris, you should probably get away from her. She'll mess up that gorgeous outfit. I jumped to my feet. Hey! But suddenly, the director grabbed my arm and dragged me away. I turned back to see Susie sitting there looking heartbroken. I was the worst best friend ever. Just send her chocolates or something. We don't have time for her moping. Just then, someone yelled, There's another Karen attack! I rushed outside with everyone else to see Mom was yelling at a teacher. "You made a spelling mistake in my little girl's name. I demand to see the principal." What was happening? I ran over to her and pulled her away from the poor teacher. "Mom, what are you doing?" She quickly whispered into my ear. "I'm improvising." I took a look around, and sure enough, the cameras were rolling and everyone was laughing. I felt humiliated. I began to yell, "Just stop it! I quit!" And then I turned around and ran. I just had to get away from this all. Suddenly, I heard Tyler calling my name. "Leave me alone, Tyler. I don't want to be a laughingstock." He caught up with me and pulled me into a hug. I looked around suspiciously. "Don't worry, there are no cameras." After a minute, he asked, Are you really quitting?" I nodded my head while sobbing. He said, You can't quit." He shifted uneasily before bursting into tears. "Babe, I need to be in the show for a reason." "Yes, to become rich and famous." "No, I need the money. I need it for my mom. She is really ill." Oh my God, Tyler! You guys and all your lies! Yes, girls are emotional, but not dumb. Oh God, that hurts. I didn't know you were so heartless. Here, look at this. Does she look fine to you? Oh my God, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I feel terrible now. You should. Okay, I'm in. I'm not leaving the show. Please don't hate me. I'll try. And before I knew it, he kissed me. Fireworks erupted in my head as I kissed him back. Suddenly, we heard loud applause, and the director jumped out from behind the bushes. "Brilliant! We just got the kiss, but it was brilliant! Good job bringing this Karen around, Tyler." What? Again? I messaged Susie asking her to meet me at a cafe the next day. I'd been feeling terrible, and I needed to make it up to her. But the next day, by the time I got free, I was already late because of the shoot. When I got there, she seemed furious and was just getting up to leave. I tried explaining it was an emergency. She simply showed me her phone screen with all the posts from the shoot. I never thought I'd say this, but you're a horrible friend, Chris. I'm a what? I just skipped a great after party for you. You're the one who's being so freaking jealous of me. Can you even pretend to be happy for me? As I realized what I'd said, I snapped shut. What was I doing? How could I say something so mean? Sue, it's great to know what you really think of your best friend. Before I could stop her and apologize, she rushed out. When I got home, my phone was blowing up with messages from Tyler. Chris, look up, daughter of Karen becomes Karen. I did, and what I saw made me drop my phone in horror. It was a video of me yelling at Susie. Then the producers called. "The stats are in, Kirsten, and the producers love Susie." He said he was changing my script and had decided that Susie and Tyler would date while I was the crazy ex. "I've even fired the model who was playing her. The producers love her." I was reluctant, but then I thought of Tyler and his mom and changed my mind. Fine, I'll do it. It would all be just fake. Nothing would change. Right? Wrong. Suddenly, not only was Susie totally avoiding me, but also I was exactly what I had always been terrified of becoming, a Karen. To make matters worse, Tyler and all my other friends started to disappear. I wasn't being invited to parties, and the models and kids all started hanging out with Susie. One evening, I woke up from a nap and was surprised to find Mom and all the regular camera crew missing. I checked my phone, and what I saw left me devastated. Everyone's stories were full of pictures and videos from a party. Just then I remembered it was Susie's birthday. Was she really not inviting me? I felt devastated. I grabbed all the things she'd ever given me and rushed over to her house. The security guy stopped me and said I couldn't go in. That's when I really lost it. I started to throw everything I'd brought into her yard. "Take this, you good-for-nothing friend! And this! I hate you!" Just then, the gate flew open, and Mom walked out. She dragged me inside the house and glared at me. "Just what are you doing? Me? What are you doing here?" "I was here for Susie's birthday, of course." "Mom, how could you even be here if I'm not invited?" "Well, everyone was. I wasn't going to miss it because you've been stupid." Before I knew it, all my anger was pouring out right there. "You're the one always embarrassing yourself in public trying to steal my show. Your show? The show exists because of me. It's my show. Suddenly, I realized she was right. It was her show, and it existed with the sole purpose of making us laughingstocks. They'd even changed my script and taken over all my life. I was trapped in my own story, and I'd hurt my friend in the process. You're right, Mom. The show is yours, and it's your world, not mine. I'm not some stupid Karen. I really quit. Then I ran past her into the house. I had an apology to make. But just before I entered, I heard Tyler say, "Mom would love to take you to Paris this weekend." I barged into her room. Susie and Tyler were kissing, and there was no camera crew. They were kissing for real. Tyler, what's going on? Why are you kissing her? And why is your ill and poor mom taking her to Paris? Ugh, who else would my boyfriend kiss? The color drained from Tyler's face. Babe, I can explain. She kissed me. Explain this, you cheater! And I threw a glass of soda from the nearby table at him. Then I turned to Susie. I never thought you'd stoop so low and kiss my boyfriend. Your boyfriend? What are you? Oh, don't pretend. You can keep this, loser. I'm out of here. With that, I turned and stormed out. I couldn't believe Tyler had been stringing me along for such a long time just to be famous. There was only one way to end this. I decided to call the producers to end this. Just as I was about to do that, Mom opened the door and said Susie was here to see me. I don't want to, but Susie pushed the door and came in. She started to cry and said, "I've broken up with him, Chris. He swore you two weren't dating. I've left the show too. I don't want to do it at the cost of our friendship." I could tell she was serious. I found myself crying with her. "I'm sorry for hurting you too, Susie. I got carried away. I missed you so much. I'm done with this stupid show." Immediately, Mom started yelling at us. "What do you mean you're done, huh? You can't. It's my money too." But we ignored her as we both talked to the producers. We told them that they couldn't produce the show or we would sue them for making us go through this stressful and hard time. The producers decided to not air the show eventually. Mom went crazy and became more and more of a Karen. What I learned from all of this is that you can be a Karen without knowing you are a Karen. So take this advice from me. After you like this video, go ask your friends if you are a Karen or not and tell us what they said in the comments.